Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, the friendliest service club in town. I'm Rhonda Daniel, Club President, and we are so glad that you're with us today. Let's begin by having our volunteers come forward. Invocation will be by Janelle Baird, Song and Pledge, Jerry Cornelius. On the piano, thank you, Tom Wolf. Visitor induction by Michael Willis, and now our invocation by Janelle Baird.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, it is good to recognize how different we are, our talents, our dreams, our backgrounds, our occupations. And it is good to know that when you created each of us, you broke the mold. No one is exactly like anyone else. Even our thumbprint and our voice track tell us how unique we are. Yet we thank you that we can take the differences and mobilize them for good in Rotary and in our communities. In our differences, we can think the same thoughts and move together toward a common goal. Bless us as we meet together. Thank you for our individuality and also for our common bond of Rotary. Amen.
Tom tells me we haven't done the national anthem for some time, so let's do that this week. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. I'd like to help welcome our visitors and recognize their host Rotarians this morning. If you would please stand when I call your name, the host Rotarian along with your visitor, we would like to recognize you. First we have Catherine DeCamp with host Luann Buellinger. Come on, Luann, stand up. We have Whitney Collins and Valerie Bowes, who are both guests of President Rhonda. We have the lovely Cindy Sands, the spouse and better half of Rod Sands. Tiffany Egdorf, colleague of Lauren Monette. Brooke Wright is the grandson of, this is what I messed up, I can't read this one, Mr. Wright. I'll take the fine, Sarge. And Chris Pankratz, who is guest of Corey Nickerson. Mindy Strain with Rotaract. Please join me in giving these guests and hosts a round of applause. Thank you, and visit again soon.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our Rotary sponsor for supporting our club activities. This week we have Mark Gray with Inverness Village. We encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. In addition to today's sponsor, let's also thank the volunteers that were just up on the screen, and let's give them a round of applause. Okay, you weren't on the screen, but for 1 second. But it does matter that you were here early to help make this a very smooth meeting. Oh, there's Inverness Village. Okay, very good. We'll make sure those sponsors get up there. All right, and now I have a few committee meetings to tell you about. Club Foundation trustees in room 233, Club Foundation Development in room 234, And Above and Beyond was postponed to December 3rd. So remember those committee meetings today. Few announcements. The 2015 Waterwell trip to Nicaragua, mark your calendars, will be February 24th through March 1st. If you're interested in going on this rewarding and very memorable trip, please contact David Peterson as soon as possible. The space is limited, so it's important to get your name on the list of participants. David, would you stand so they know who you are? Judge Peterson over there. And if you haven't ever gone to Nicaragua and you have a desire to go, it is something that you will never forget. It's a very memorable trip. On December 3rd, we will elect one of the 3 directors-at-large candidates by ballot. Information about Brian Bovard, Katie Johnson, and Carl Vincent is on the club's website, so be sure to check them out. If you cannot attend the December 3rd meeting, Rotary staff members have absentee ballots at the table in the back of the room. Absentee ballots must be cast before December 3rd by returning them to the Rotary office in a sealed envelope provided. If you have not noticed, we had a little activity going in this corner today. Terry Heritage with the interim healthcare nurses will be giving flu vaccinations after the meeting, and they did some today. And if I pass out, you know what happened. Yes, I got a shot, and I don't like needles, but I hate the flu the worst. Okay. And now Mac, come on up here. He has some announcements about our 2015 IBA Awards Master of Ceremonies. I won't say who.
Well, there are no secrets around here. In 2002, our Master of Ceremonies was Reese Davis. We noticed, the committee noticed that as a broadcast professional, the event moved smoothly, there was no dead air, and we made a decision at that time that we were going to pursue network sportscasters to act as our Master of Ceremony because of their timing, the timing that they possess, and it's part of their trade craft. It was what Spencer Tillman would refer to as their inner clock. So they have the ability to speed things up when they're dragging, slow things down when they're moving too quick, and to fill when there's dead air. Dead air is the bad aspect of the event, and being able to do that makes it a much more entertaining event. So as a good example of that is when I chaired this event in 2005. Lynn Swan was our Master of Ceremonies. For those of you who don't know, Swanee's a Hall of Fame wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Had a lot of broadcast experience, and if you ask somebody that's chaired this thing, they'll tell you that about 7 o'clock on the night of the event, you have this realization that if this thing goes off the tracks, there's nothing you can do about it. You just grab hold, ride the train into the ditch, and hope you survive. And right before we got going, Swanee came up to me and said, by the way, I got to tell you, I have a board meeting at 9 o'clock that I have to attend. Well, he was on the board of the Heinz Company, the ketchup folks. And so he said, but don't worry, I have my cell phone and you won't even know I'm not there. Well, I don't know what happened after that, but about 9 o'clock, he introduced Rebecca Lobo, who was going to present to our female, Amy Alcott. And I was so busy chewing my fingernails, after he disappeared from the stage, after he introduced her, I don't know what either one of them said. To this day, I don't know what they said. And as far as I was concerned, they talked for about 7 to 7.5 seconds, which is when I found out that Amy was closing her remarks, thanking everyone for the award, and Swanee was not on the stage. As she did her final thank you and was exiting to the right, though, here he was magically appearing, hit the script without dropping a beat, finished the event, and we had everybody home in time to watch themselves on the sportscast at 10 o'clock. So I survived that, but it took me about 10 days to recover myself. So when I asked Seth Davis to reprise his 2007 appearance, he graciously accepted, and in our conversation he said, you know, Mac, I'd be glad to do this for as long as you want me to. And I jumped all over that. We've got a guy here that, because it's very difficult to get these people now to come in repetitively or even once, because most of these sportscasters are hitting a variety of sports year long. They're working year long as opposed to just during the season. He's got the smarts to do it. He's an author with 3 books, 2 of which have hit the New York Times bestsellers list. His book on Coach Wooden is a classic. I highly recommend it to you. It's well written and it's interesting to boot. He writes prolifically for Sports Illustrated and SI.com during the college basketball season. He's got the on-air experience with CBS Sports as one of the analysts for the At the Half series that plays every weekend during college basketball. He's an analyst and an anchor for CBS Sports and for Turner Broadcasting for the NCAA basketball tournament. And his stand-up comedy experience from New York when he lived in Connecticut puts together a really good package for us. So why don't we take a look at the video. This is a good example of dead air. And we did this on purpose, so you know what I was talking about.
Hey everybody, this is Seth Davis here with CBS Sports, Sports Illustrated, and Campus Insiders, and I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to announce that I will be returning as the MC for the 22nd Henry Iba Awards in Tulsa, Oklahoma, June the 22nd, 2015. I've hosted this event several times. It's a wonderful community spirit. I always meet very interesting people. Everybody is in such a good mood. They laugh at my dumb jokes all night long. What a better endorsement can I give the event than that? And it's a very exciting time. I encourage everybody to go out there and get their tickets in advance. I know they're going to sell out fast. June 22nd, 2015 is the date of this event. And as I said, I'm looking forward to coming back to Tulsa. And I'm really excited for the coming college basketball season. I know basketball fans in Oklahoma are as well. I think that Lon Kruger's going to have his best team since he's been in Oklahoma. America's going to really learn about Buddy Hield and his high-scoring ability. I saw him a lot over the summertime, and he really excelled in college workouts in front of NBA scouts. Oklahoma State is also going to be strong. Obviously, they lose Marcus Smart, but Phil Forte, Ryan Nash and company. I think Travis Ford's going to have a very strong team that should be able to compete in the Big 12 and make the NCAA tournament. This time, last year when I was at the Iowa Awards, Tulsa basically had its new coach there, Frank Haith, coming in from Missouri. I know that Tulsa basketball fans have been frustrated a little bit in the past because they've had coaches come and leave for other jobs the way that Danny Manning did. This is a guy coming from an SEC Power 5 conference school at Tulsa, coming to Tulsa. I think he's going to be there a while. He's going to do a great job. He brought his staff. I know he's going to recruit well, and I know he's very excited. I have spoken with Frank many times about what's ahead. And of course, Coach Sutton at Oral Roberts is going to have another great year in the Sutton League as well. So great things happening all around for Oklahoma basketball. But most important is my deep excitement and humility at accepting this very high honor to come back and host the Iowa Awards. So see everybody June the 22nd. Thanks to the Rotary Club in Tulsa. The Rotarians do an unbelievable job. And get your tickets now. I'll be there. Thanks, guys.
Well, I can tell you there is a video where he actually moves his lips. I don't know where it went, but please buy a table, buy tickets if you like. Greg Keck, I saw him here. Our chairman isn't here. I don't believe. Is he? There he is. Tom's back there. They all have all the ticket information. They can get it to you. I don't do that, and I don't know what they're doing. So those are the guys to see. And I promise you we'll do our best to get you home by 10 o'clock. See yourself on the news.
Thank you, Mac. That is always such a great time, a great evening. If you haven't gone to the IBA Awards, be sure to get your tickets this year. This is going to be a very exciting year with the gala and then IBA. It's just very festive, so get lots of pretty dresses, ladies, and or men, whatever you'd like. And we'll have a great time. Okay, Alicia, are you playing double duty today? Come on up to the side mic and see what we've got going on here.
Mac, if you'll notice, we have 4 laptops over there, and we still weren't able to see Seth's mouth move, so I apologize for that. Real quick, bell ringing is on December the 4th. We've got about, James, if you want to join me real quick. We've got about 12 spots still available. Right now, from 2 to 3, this is perfect. You can go to lunch around 12:30, parlay into some bell ringing around 2, and really be out for the rest of the afternoon. I
Oh,
think.
great.
So there's 2 Walmart locations, 67th and Memorial and 81st and Lewis, that we have absolutely no one. So if you can look into that, sign up after Rotary for that. James, you want to tell us just a little bit?
Yeah. Again, I just want to say thank you to the Rotary Club for everything that you do to help the Salvation Army, especially this time of year, ringing bells. We have a goal of $600,000 in our kettles across Tulsa this year, and the Rotary Club annually is the #1 civic organization in your collections. So thank you so much for adopting those kettles on that day. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Paula and Tony, if you would come to the side mic. Paula,
Partner in crime today.
Lindsay,
Lindsay.
and then Tony, come on up. So you're next.
So Lindsay Dunn and I are technically co-chairs. So she doesn't want to speak. So I'll do. Oh, okay. So thank you all for signing up. We have about 27 names on the board. I think we're in better shape than I thought because the committee said, well, we thought we were just on there by default. So we probably have about 35 people, but please sign up. We need more than less because there might be some last minute kind of things going on. So we're here to shamelessly recruit Mike Neal, just in case there might be anyone from outside that would like to shop with the cop on December the 6th from 10 to 12. And then, just so you'll know, I've had some questions about, how does this work? So the Rotary Club of Tulsa is providing $2,500 for this experience. The Fraternal Order of Police is also matching that, and so we have $5,000 for 35 families. So it's very easy to do, right, Rob Berry? It's wonderful, and it's gratifying. It's why we're Rotarians, and it's also the beginning of a Christmas season that you won't forget. Lindsay, anything else?
It's a memorable event. It's great to be there for 2 or 3 hours and share that time with the children and with other Rotarians. The police are there, and the cadets, the explorers are there, and they're excited about it. So great. It's a worthwhile day to spend that morning that way. So we hope you'll come and join us. And also, we had emailed our committee that we might have a meeting today.
Oh, that's right, Donna. We kind of thought we had a meeting, so if it's okay, we could just meet quickly at the back of the room today. So thanks, committee. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tony, you're up next. Okay. Short video.
So November is Rotary Foundation Month, and I don't think anyone can watch that without asking themselves, how can I support this outside of what we do already? And conveniently, there's literature on your tables. If you have an interest, for as little as $10 a month, you can continuously support the Rotary Foundation. And That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Tony. Sarge, we didn't have you last week, but this week we have a few slides to show. Matthew Bristow.
It's been 2 weeks without Sarge.
I was
actually,
sliding
so-
by. Okay.
And next week I may or may not be here because I know it's terrible, right? My wife is due to have our third baby sometime in the next week or so. So I'll either be here without baby or having just had one, in which case my eyes will look like this. Or Alicia may be subbing, she just doesn't know it yet. So, slides? There we go. Reminder for everyone who's not familiar, all the fines announced today go to our local foundation for all the work that the club does within the Tulsa Foundation. So leading off today, is DJ here, Paula? DJ, are you here? She's not here. Well, Paula wanted to give $50 for DJ to recognize her for service above self. Apparently, DJ has a reputation as an incredible pastry chef. So Paula had asked her to bake some goods for a silent auction, and unbeknownst to Paula, the day of, she found out that she just had a car accident and she was about to take her son into hospital for an operation. But nonetheless, DJ still steps up, still bakes her goods and delivers them Paula. So that is service above self. So thank you, DJ, and thank you, Paula. Stu, raise a hand if you're here. No? Everyone wants fines and doesn't want to get pointed out. So Stu gave $50 for Camp Enterprise, 26 birthday years. I think it said 7 years of Guru Stu, and another 15 for Luck in 2015. So thank you very much to Stu. Drew? So if you fine, I may fine you again if you don't show up to be fined. So Drew gave $50. This is a picture of him and his wife at Stephen King's house in Maine, and they've been married 7 years of marriage, 7 years, and no itch, apparently. So congratulations to Drew. And the company Drew works for, also Sawyer Manufacturing, just won the Tulsa Regional Chamber Manufacturer of the Year. They've been in business 70 years, and Drew's company gave $100. So thank you again to Drew. Mm-hmm. Pete, are you here? We could be 100%. Pete gave $78 for his birthday and 17 months in Rotary, so thank you very much to Pete. I know Mike's here because I saw him on the way in. So Mike gave $100 for his birthday on November 11th. Thank you very much, Mike. Andrew, coffee? Aha, we're on a roll. $100 for Andrew's first year in Rotary on November 27th. So glad to have you. Thank you very much. John? John is here. Thank you very much. 3 for 3 now. So I have no idea. Can you scoot me left a bit? It was $100. 53. John was 53. Something 1 years in Rotary. And something 6 extra for Jerry Murator's endorsement at Oktoberfest. I haven't found out the time of evening or the state of inebriation, but Jerry endorsed John as a fabulous attorney in town, and he also wanted to recognize the singing that they did on a levee in Sand Springs at Business Visitation Day. So thank you very much, John. Oh, and Karen Keith was involved in this too. He's implicating many Rotarians today. So Matt, I saw you, there he is. Matt gave $47 for his birthday, and he gave $53 for the fact that he's Jerry's son, but still got let in. So I thought we're fully Muratored now. Thank you very much. All right, Chris, are you here? You still hungover? Yeah. All right. So I know the numbers on this one because it's all 17. So apparently the Razorbacks had been 17 games in the SEC conference without winning. they won against LSU 17, and LSU happened to be ranked number 17. So that was a big win. And I also wanted to note, in my Sarge research, I discovered that on July 20th, Chris, you may not be aware of this, but according to Forbes, the United States Trademark and Patent Office granted registration of the hog call as a licensed trademark now. But you should note, it's not the words, it is the sound you make when you make the call. It's woo pig suey, but something in a different voice with hands. And so thank you very much, Chris, and congrats to the Razorbacks for winning. So there's more football wins, and everyone feel free to acknowledge your team when they win. I love this new theme we have. Northwestern's victory on Saturday over Notre Dame in South Bend. And Scott, thank you very much. Scott Philstrip's right there. He was also there last time they were playing in 1995. So I was looking for photos of either one of them, but maybe he was also hungover and didn't get the picture. But thank you very much to Scott. Appreciate it. Steve, are you here? Steve Wood is back there. So this was a fun one. Steve gave $200, $1 for each book that his daughter Katie gave from her book collection to Celia Clinton's library, which I thought was a wonderful concept for children and grandchildren when they have the books stacked up at home. Don't let them go to waste. Box them up, give them to someone here who's on the committee, or take them there directly. So Celia Clinton got 200 books new to them from Katie, and you can see that she did pretty well because now she just graduated. So thank you very much to Steve. JB, he's always at the back, hiding. Thank you very much, JB. He's a multiple finee, so I love people who accept fines lots of times. $100 for 14 years in Rotary, $100 for my Okie accent, which I'm still working on, and $100 for President Rhonda. Do I have to find myself? Yes. For captaining our Rotary ship and doing a fabulous job.
Oh, thanks, JB.
The final one, OSU tickets are gone except for the OSU game, which are being bid on, but bidding continues, so keep going outside. And there's a OU-KU, and I know that OU is Oklahoma and KU is Kansas. Huh? I'm getting better. That's all. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Matthew. All right, I apologize. We are running just a little bit late, so you feel free to take as long as you need. Okay. Mike Neal is the president. He's our Rotarian of the Day. He's the president and CEO of the Tulsa Regional Chamber. Mike has been a member of our club since 2006 and was previously a member of another club for 7 years. He is a Club Foundation Fellow, a Paul Harris Fellow. Please welcome Rotarian of the Day, Mr. Mike Neal.
Thank you, President Rhonda. Good afternoon. It's my privilege to be here today to introduce you to the chairman of our Tulsa Regional Chamber Board of Directors, Mr. Wade Edmundson. I think Wade truly is one of our community and our region and our state's most distinguished business leaders. He happens to also be one of the nicest, most sincere, most straightforward people you'll ever meet. Wade has done a tremendous job leading our chamber. He's been involved in many volunteer capacities, but really as chairman of our board, he plays a tremendously important role in providing for the strategic oversight, overseeing our strategic plan, the direction, and all the work that the chamber does in areas ranging from workforce development to economic development to tourism to workforce attraction, advocacy, all these things on behalf of the Northeast Oklahoma region. In addition to that, he does, at least his board tells me, that he has a day job. And that is, he is the CEO of Commerce Bank, Oklahoma. Wade has a very distinguished 37-year banking career. His accomplishments way too many to enumerate today, but I think most of you know that prior to his time with Commerce, he helped found and lead Summit Bank, and before that he spent time with the Bank of Oklahoma, with Bank 4, formerly Fourth National Bank, and then First Tulsa.
Wade received both his undergraduate and graduate degrees from that great university west of here, Oklahoma State University. And he also has just done so many things from a philanthropic perspective and a community service perspective, from chairing, co-chairing last year's Salvation Army benefit dinner to so many other things. But I think really Wade embodies what many of our chamber leaders have embodied, and that is Tulsa's true philanthropic spirit and their philanthropic nature. And he really, in addition to overseeing a rapidly growing financial institution, he has been involved with so many other business leaders in giving back to the community and really making an impact on what makes Tulsa and what makes Northeast Oklahoma special. Would you please join me in giving a warm Tulsa Rotary welcome to the chairman of the Tulsa Regional Chamber Board, the CEO of Commerce Bank, our good friend, Mr. Wade Edmundson. Wade?
Good, thank you. Well, thank you, Mike, for that introduction, and thank you, all of you, for being the opportunity to be here. I'm here in my capacity as chair of the chamber, so I think it's fair for me to just make a couple of quick comments about the chamber. First of all, Mike has been CEO with the chamber now for 9 years, and during that 9-year period, we've grown so much and added so much talent, a lot of revenue that's plowing back into the Tulsa region. And I think it's probably best encapsulated in a statement about the award that has been won by this chamber. 3 times out of a 5-year period of time, it was awarded the outstanding chamber in America. So it really is a good chamber. Mike's done a terrific job of leading it and building a great leadership team and a great staff. So hats off to you, Mike, for everything that you've done. Well, I just want to say I'm amazed every time I think about the Rotary Club, about the strength and the depth and the history of this organization. You have to be so proud about all you do for the community that you have done and that you continue to do. And congratulations again on that great announcement, Mac, on having Seth Davis be the MC this year. That's fantastic. I see so many friends here today, so it's a pleasure to see you all. Now, when I was asked by my good friend Matt Davis to provide the Rotary with an update on chamber activities, naturally I agreed. But Matt, I have a question. What kind of friend would place me the very next speaker following last week's speaker, Joe McGuire, a retired Navy SEAL? I mean, my gosh, that conjures up images of life and death and battles versus chamber, economic development. I mean, come on. There's going to be a little fall off in excitement, I think, today, but I will make up time, Rhonda, so don't worry about that. I will not be talking about life and death or battles, but I will be talking about a very intense competition that is critical to our region, and the outcome can affect us positively or negatively for years to come, and that is the competition for attracting talent. Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful tool you can use to change the world. And I'm not implying that the chamber is going to change the world, but I am saying that the chamber has led an education effort. For the past 5 years, Tulsa leaders have been on a quest to educate themselves on how other cities across the country are using modern tools to innovate and drive economic development and quality of life for the citizens. This quest for knowledge has been spurred by our need to win the talent attraction game. The future of our region truly is incumbent upon our ability to attract a skilled workforce. Now, how many of you remember several weeks ago when Hilti USA made an announcement about relocating its headquarters from Tulsa to Dallas? Just about everybody remembers that. Well, you might recall specifically that Kerry Everett, who's president and CEO of Hilti and a great guy and has done a super job of giving back to this community, made a statement, and he said the relocation of the company's headquarters to Dallas would, quote, give them a greater access to a much larger talent pool as they expand their business over the next decade. Statements like those should be of concern to every single one of us. The recruitment of talent is a looming issue for all cities across the country. And I'm sure you've heard the sobering statistic that more than 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every single day. So as you can imagine, over time, this is going to leave a major mark on the makeup of business, and starting in the very near future. Communities both small and large are working to lure talent through various strategies, but study after study shows the most successful cities are winning the talent game through their attention to quality of life first and then job opportunities as a resulting benefit. Sounds funny, it seems odd, because you always think about creating the job and then they will come. So we're not letting Mike Neal off the hook. I mean, economic development and getting jobs grown in Tulsa is clearly what we want to do, but we're going to talk more about the development of that thought here as we go along. One such community that ranks number one or near the top of every survey on young professionals is Portland, Oregon. And just 6 weeks ago, the Chamber led 120 area representatives in a visit to Portland on a quest to hear firsthand how that city has succeeded in transforming its quality of life. And while important, we studied the hallmarks of quality of life, such as transit, downtown, neighborhood revitalization, and walkable and bikeable areas. And the city's commitment to place, and that's a term that you'll hear more about today, but also in the future, is clearly evident through their decision-making around funding areas that encourage bikeability and walkability. So get this, the city once took highway funds intended for building a new highway and used the funds instead to build new parks and trails connecting areas to downtown. So all of those things are just the hallmarks of this placemaking. Placemaking stimulates the improvement of public spaces, public engagement, urban beauty. Placemaking enhances civic pride, connects people to their neighborhoods, and encourages economic development. So while we were all astounded at everything Portland has done, and it really was a really neat place, just so much going on for it, has done to encourage that sense of place, we're well aware that Portland is not Tulsa, and Tulsa is not Portland. And I think as leaders of this community, we all agree with the same sentiment that Portland Intercity Visit attendees concluded, and that's that we must celebrate what makes Tulsa special and what makes Tulsa unique, and we must make our own Tulsa. So various initiatives have worked to move the needle toward better placemaking in our region. Planning initiatives like Step Up Tulsa and Planet Tulsa have paved the way toward placemaking and making our community beautiful through streetscaping, and there are plenty of examples that you can see as you go through downtown on that, zoning ordinances, and community engagement. So where do we go next? Well, for more than a decade, we've been on the cusp of determining the next big thing to move our region forward, spur development, and grow our tax base while building our workforce and competing for jobs. And one area that we can all be proud of as Tulsans is how we've fostered this notion of placemaking in our very own downtown. The Chamber, along with others like yourselves, is proud to have played a strong role in the revitalization of downtown. We've built strong corporate partnerships and have cultivated relationships with downtown business owners, developers, and planners. And the results really are impressive. You think about downtown property values, real and personal, have increased more than 8% per year since 2008, which is a year before the BOK Arena and the One Oak Field was built. And this equates to about a 50% gain in value, comparing to a total growth rate in Tulsa County for a similar period of just under 11%. And so interestingly, this increase in value is dispersed throughout the interdispersal loop, not just concentrated in a particular area like you might suspect. Downtown's workforce population is top 40,000 and now stands at 40,191. I don't know how we count that 191st, that last person there, but that's probably as of yesterday. Resident population is 4,227 and really growing as fast as units can be built and opened. Downtown residential rental occupancies remain at 97%, which, as you know, is considered fully occupied, and it has waiting lists, compared to 93% for Tulsa overall. So all these statistics really prove that downtown is realizing a strong return on community investment in the form of increased property values and rental rates, and certainly overall vibrancy if you've been downtown lately. Downtown is truly contributing to the quality of life for all Northeast Oklahoma, but most importantly, it serves as the major driving force behind our efforts in recruiting young talent. Young professionals crave density, walkability, and bikeability. The efforts surrounding improving our urban core will play a huge role in our ability to bring young professionals here. Now, while the quality of life for Tulsans has increased dramatically in the past 10 years, there's obviously a lot of work to be done. Downtown's progress, along with the unparalleled gift of the Gathering Place for Tulsa, led by the George Kaiser Family Foundation, the promise of Arkansas River development, which is so exciting, and all those just make us proud to be Tulsans. But time after time, we all hear stories of misperceptions, or worse, no perceptions of Tulsa. And I'm sure you all have been there where you've been out and out of the city and you've asked people about what they know about Tulsa, and it's been surprising to hear the responses. People outside our community really know nothing of our story. They know nothing of our pride. This is why branding ourselves is so important. The Chamber, beginning with the chairship of Becky Frank and then Jake Henry, and now under my chairship, has convened community volunteers under a task force to harness all the momentum surrounding establishing an identity for Tulsa. And you might ask what branding has to do with placemaking and attracting young talent, and I'll tell you it has everything to do with it. Branding plays a role in attracting young talent because a city's identity goes a long way toward being able to recruit skilled talent and also retain workforce that's trained locally. We don't want them to leave either. So, simply put, young people will choose the city they desire to live in first and then worry about finding a job, which just seems backward, but that's the way it is. Certainly was that way in Portland, and I think it's that way here as well. Dr. Jerry Clancy, who I think was speaking to you last August, has led our community's efforts around identifying a core statement related to our work toward attracting young talent. This regional vision statement is weaved into the framework of what drives the Chamber's strategic plan and the planning of so many of our regional partners. Last January, during my comments at the Chamber's annual meeting, I stressed the following, and that is, we cannot begin to attract young and/or skilled talent to our region until we have a story to tell them in a strong, collective message of identity. Cities around the country are addressing their own national perceptions by developing and marketing common regional identities. Other cities are well ahead of us on winning the talent game through branding, and I've got just a few examples here. Don, we'll go ahead and put up the first slide. I think it's Houston. It's a little small for me to see, but Houston's brand is the city with no limits, and it harnesses the notion that young people can be anything they want to be in Houston. Cleveland and St. Louis, I think we have a couple of different slides on them, have also captured this momentum around encouraging young people to live their wildest dreams and accomplish their major goals by moving to those respective cities. We had one on Kansas City as well, and have not been able to locate that, but KC has a really good target message for young talent. So it's time we help young talent around the country discover who we are. It's time to tell our story and reap the benefits of our investment. For more than a year, a group of community professionals working in the advertising, marketing, and communications industries have come together to help tell our story. Now, I'm going to show you a piece that is generating a whole lot of buzz around the region, and really, this thing has gone viral, so I wouldn't be surprised if many of you have already caught a glimpse of this thing. This video is a result of this community work toward harnessing why Tulsa's young talent love living and working here. So here's the video.
Sometimes you wake up and wonder, why am I here? There's a purpose and a place to be, an action to be accomplished, a job to be done, a smile to be had, a cappuccino to make, some love that must be made. Where is opportunity? Where is freedom to be who you were meant to be, to feel what you were meant to feel, to express that emotion, to find a breakthrough and maybe change the world, to live life to the fullest? Is it all career? Is it all fun? Maybe. It's the perfect mix of them both, and sometimes the worlds collide beautifully. We innovate, we dream, we explore, we manufacture, we develop, we break ground, we fund, we venture, we write, we dance, we unite. We laugh, we love, we sweat, we bleed, we struggle, we fail, but then we succeed. The night comes with open arms and the sun rises again as we unapologetically, optimistically, enthused and enthralled, we create our own legacy. Tie our shoes and raise our hands, we are a town of passion. And with or without you, we will love our land. Never heard of Tulsa? Well, maybe we've never heard of you. But if you are hungry, join those in pursuit. all guts, and all glory.
Well, I've seen that over a dozen times, and I still get goosebumps, even though it's clearly not targeted to me. It's targeted to younger folks than that. But is that really not a powerful example from some of Tulsa's very own young talent on why they love living and working in Tulsa? And I need you to know that this video was not intended for release. It was accidentally released, but it's gone viral since that time. And so this is a work in progress. There's much more that's going to be coming out of this group in the coming months. So what are our next steps? Well, we have to capture on this momentum. The video you just watched has been viewed and shared over 200,000 times on social media. Additionally, I don't know how many of you may have caught this, but the New York Times last week, I think it was, featured a story. It was a cover story on downtown Tulsa. It was a great read. You ought to catch it if you haven't seen that. And I'm really standing before you today to help spread the word about the exciting work so we can keep this momentum alive. Now, the next step in continuing this community dialogue comes in the form of an event called the Best Thinking Forum, which is scheduled to be held on Friday, December 12th. The Oklahoma Innovation Institute, the Tulsa Community College have partnered with the Chamber for this event, and this Best Thinking Forum will provide a framework for developing strategies around moving toward the regional vision of attracting and retaining young, skilled talent. Now, I want you to be on the lookout for the invitation because we want everyone to attend if you're interested in moving this community forward, and I think that's the very definition of this group, so I hope to see many of you there. We need the collective help of all Tulsans if we're to accomplish the goal of attracting young talent. We must develop and cultivate an identity that will not only be recognized by people throughout the country and the world, but an identity that will be embraced by Tulsans. Only then, and through this agreed-upon identity, can we begin implementing our vision toward winning the talent game and succeed in driving a workforce that our companies in Northeast Oklahoma so desperately need to hire. And finally, we must remember that our agreed-upon identity will not be an effort to mimic Portland or Austin or any other city. Our shared identity is our attitude, our heart and soul, our approach to life, our indomitable spirit, and our intestinal fortitude. That is who we are as Tulsans. So that concludes my comments. Thanks for your time and attention. I don't believe we have time for questions, so Rhonda, I think we caught up. Okay, thank you.
I like it when other people get chili bumps. I got chili bumps on that video, and I know you all did too. And thank you, Mike and Wade, both for your talent that you're giving to the city of Tulsa. It's great to live in Tulsa, isn't it? Clap your hands. So many exciting things that are happening, and it's just exciting to be a part of that. A book recognizing today's program, it's called Santa is Coming to Tulsa. And it's not up there. Oh, it is. You did it. I got a text message. Did you see that? They were having difficulties, and I'm going to owe Alicia, I think, a very large Starbucks at the end of this meeting. We've had all kinds of issues today. Did you fix it, Matthew? Thank you. Oh, you're going to find me. Okay. All right. Anyway, next week, a very exciting program. How many of you are going to be able to make it for our Thanksgiving Wednesday? Please try to come if you can. We have a very special speaker, Dr. Jim Miller. He'll be doing our program. And then the next week is David Greer, Executive Director of the Institute for Information Security at TU. As we conclude, I hope you enjoy this familiar tune by the Kinks for some light-up Rotary fun to brighten your day. Sunny afternoon. We are adjourned.